DJ General Mills.
First news of the day is an unfortunate tale from YFN Lucci. So I'll be honest with you about this news. When I first heard about this YFN Lucci news, it kind of threw me back, you know. Long story short, YFN Lucci finally turned himself in because he is wanted in connection to a murder. And they don't necessarily know what he did in regards to this murder, but he's wanted in connection. So the story that I read online is that him and some other people were in a car. They saw some rival gang members, and they got into a shootout. Now, one of his friends, one of his people, his crew, got shot in the head. And while he got shot in the head, they believe that YFN Lucci, who potentially was the getaway driver, is what they're saying, potentially was the getaway driver. YFN Lucci was the one who drove away while his friend bled out. Apparently his friend was hanging from an SUV, head, blew out basically from a bullet, unfortunately. And, he got, he suffered and he died, long story short. They didn't know who was part of this. They didn't know any victims or anything like this. They didn't know what happened. But apparently the very next day, another gunshot victim turned himself into the hospital to get checked out. And they believe that those two people were connected. From there, they were able to, make an idea of what the situation was. YFN Lucci apparently was the last person that they were looking for. So they were able to arrest the other two people who were involved, 23-year-old Rayvon Boyd and 17-year-old Leroy Pitts, on similar charges. So apparently these two gentlemen were also a part of this incident as well. So that's basically the whole story. It was December 10th, murder of James Adams, a 28-year-old Atlanta man who died from a gunshot wound to the head. Authorities confirmed Lucci, 29, is facing charges of murder, aggravated assault, participating in criminal street gang activity, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. So there's a couple of charges here. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything about the law. But I'm looking at these charges that he's getting faced with. The first one is murder. That's going to be very hard to pin on Lucci, because apparently from what they're saying, it's from a rival gang member who shot. So the rival gang member who shot at them, if the story is the way that I read it, murder is not what he's going to be charged with. Murder. He's not going to be convicted of murder. He could be charged with it, but it's going to be a real small, it's going to be small that they're going to actually be able to convict him of that. Aggravated assault, more than likely, is going to actually happen. Participated in criminal street gang activity, more than likely is going to happen. And possession of a firearm. If he had a firearm during all of this, then yes. So I'll be honest with you, if they don't hit him for murder, he's probably not going to do too much time, but more than likely, unfortunately, YFN Lucci is looking at time. This is a huge blow to Think It's a Game, which is the record label that he signed to. They also had another artist named Q Money, who had a big record called Neat. The record was moving. It was a club hit. It's called Neat. Never blew up past the clubs here, but it was called Neat. And Q Money, unfortunately, also got hit with the murder charge as well. And he should have been probably next up. So this is a huge blow to Think It's a Game. Especially with the album that YFN Lucci just put out. I think he put out, a top 10, top 15 album of last year for me. One of my favorite albums of the year was his album. I've been listening to that album nonstop in the gym. So it's really unfortunate to see that this is what's going to happen with him. So, first of all, prayers up and blessings sent over, condolences sent over to everybody who was deceased and their family. because we don't want to continue to see this senseless killings. That's number one, and I think that's first and foremost. Number two, blessings and condolences sent to families of the victims. Not just the people who are deceased, but unfortunately the people who are no longer going to be able to feed their families based off of this. When an artist this big gets put down for a major charge, a lot of people across the board starts to see that their money dwindle. YFN Lucci, he might have had, he has kids, got to take care of them. He has babies' mamas, got to take care of them. And the longer that he sits in jail, unfortunately, the less that he's going to be able to take care of his family. So it's really an unfortunate situation, fortunate incident, but unfortunately, it sounds as if he put himself in here. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's really tough. I remember there's a radio host by the name of Charlemagne the God out here, and he said something that I used to agree with all the time. He used to be like, I want my rappers to live that street stuff. I want them, if they're gonna be considered themselves street rappers, I want to see them live that. And I used to agree with that. I'd be like, don't sit up here and talk about street stuff if you're not gonna be in the streets. How dumb was I, right? The older I get, the more I realize, stay away from that. We've lost way too many rappers from just deaths. And so we don't need to necessarily lose any more rappers from stupid stuff like this. So I just really hate that. I'll just be honest with you. I just really, truly hate that. Hate that this is what it's come down to. So hopefully moving forward, rappers can, potentially start to separate themselves from the actual activities. It's probably not going to happen, but hopefully other rappers can look at this and be like, all right, I don't want to be a part of this. That street life, I'm leaving it behind. I'm just going to rap about it. I'm going to sing about it. Do whatever you need to, but understand that you're putting yourself in a better position for your family, so you don't have to do this. You don't have to go down this route. And like I said, we don't know the full details about this story. We just don't know. We just don't know. So good luck to YFN Lucci. He's trending right now on Twitter. Even though this story happened a few days ago, he finally had his first online court case. So he had to answer it literally, through the phone, on the camera and everything like that. So good luck to him, man. I really hate it. I really hate when talented artists go through stuff like that. So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, man, I'm just want to touch on that.
DJ General Mills.